Greetings, sensual, giving, stubborn Taurus. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot card reader, and now I'm going to do the September 2020 tarot and astrology overview for the sign of Taurus. And I'm going to start with the tarot layout, and then in the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about some of the planetary transits that are happening in September for Taurus. And of course, this is a broad overview. The way to get the most out of the cards and the planets is to do a one-on-one reading with an astrologer. And it's a very empowering tool for self-awareness and navigating the road of life. And so now I'm going to talk about your tarot layout a little bit. As we enter the month of September, you have the Ten of Cups. This is a card of fulfillment, happiness, joy, family, abundance, the full picture. And you are covered by the Queen of Swords reversed. And this is could be a sharp-tongued woman, could be a woman who is holding back her thoughts or words or ideas about something. This could represent an air sign woman, like an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. But it could represent the Taurus woman potentially in this reading. You're crossed by strength, and you have to be strong in the month of September. The basis, the Page of Rods. This has to do with a child beginning a new project or journey. It looks like it's a great new start. For those of you who don't have children, it could be that you are beginning in the seedling baby stages of a project or embarking on a journey of some kind. What's leaving is the Seven of Cups reversed. So this is feeling cloudy about the future and not being quite able to envision how things are going to come into focus. What could come into being, it looks like a man being very romantic around mid-month. That can also represent a man being very creative around mid-month. The King of Cups rules corresponds to the element of water, so it has to do with relationships and emotion, but it also has to do with creativity and spirituality too. What will come into being also around mid-month, it looks like information is being revealed, secrets coming out perhaps. Fears or insecurities have to do with your relationship. And for those of you who aren't in a relationship, it could be just the idea of a relationship that maybe you have fears or insecurities around. Others see you as the Knight of Pentacles, so it looks like there's a man who has a business or financial proposal for you. And others, your positive feelings are the Six of Swords reverse. So this is about, it could be about returning from a trip or someone else returning from a trip. It could also be just that in general, more figuratively, you are turning around your old ideas about something, and that is leading you from a choppy emotional time to a much calmer, more serene emotional landscape. And then the outcome is the Nine of Swords reversed. So it looks like towards the end of September, Taurus may be feeling like your hands are tied around a situation, or you might be feeling some anxiety about something, anxiety or frustration. So that's the tarot overview for Taurus for the month of September. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the planets. September 1st, the month begins with the full moon in Pisces. And the full moon in Pisces is a very beautiful full moon. I love the full moon of Pisces. It's a very, Pisces is sextile aspect to Taurus, so that's a very harmonious, flowing aspect. It can be a sexy aspect even. This is very fertile. It's very creative for Taurus. It's very psychic for Taurus. And so full moons illuminate, and because it's happening for you in the house of friends and business associates, it looks like it will illuminate that area of your life. And if there's been any fogginess or vagueness, there's going to be illumination around that. And you may be being very nurturing towards your friends and or business associates during this time. September 5th, Uranus in your sign, Taurus, and Uranus is the planet of shakeups, it's the planet of rebellions, it's the planet of surprises and the unexpected. This planet is forming a semi-square, which is a tense and edgy aspect with the North Node in Gemini. So for Taurus, this has to do with an edginess in the area of, your sense of self and your personality and your identity and your higher purpose as it relates to finances and resources, but also your values and self-esteem. Also September 5th, Mercury is moving into Libra. So Mercury is the planet of communication. That's how we speak and how we learn and how we think and how we listen even. So that is moving into from your 5th house to your 6th house. So this is going to be bringing up communication around health issues, also a lot of communication around your daily routine, and also for Taurus who have staff or employees, there's going to be communication around issues of fairness, equality, balance, all of these areas. And it could also bring up issues around your spouse's health if you're married, communication around your spouse's health, or also communication around your spouse's daily routine, your spouse's work, things like that during the period of Mercury in Libra, which is September 5th through September 22nd. Mercury is moving really quickly through the sky right now, so in September alone it'll be in 3 different signs, and so September the communication focuses beginning, middle, and really the first week it moves into Mercury. Anyway, I can't get bogged down in all those details. Let me keep moving. So September 5th, Pallas goes direct. This is in your 9th house, Taurus, and this is the house of religion and spirituality. For some Tauruses, it's going to manifest philosophy, also higher truth. All of that is in this house. But it's also the house of higher education, like university level education, for those who that's applicable to. It's also the house of travel and exploration. So that's how these issues will manifest for some Tauruses. It's also the house of cross-cultural experiences of any kind. And it's the house of publishing and broadcasting for Tauruses that applies to. And so Pallas going direct in this house, I'm bringing up all of these themes because Taurus also has Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in that house at this time. So all year, these themes are an area of great expansion and transformation, possibly even a clearing happening for Taurus. And so whichever the topic is for you, I listed them all and you probably recognize which one is yours. But as Pallas goes direct, now these strategies that you've been, planning internally and reconfiguring, rethinking, now it's time to start making those moves in that area of your life. Again, these topics could be anywhere from like religion and spirituality, higher truth, philosophy, to higher education, to cross-cultural experiences, to publishing or broadcasting. And September 6th, Venus enters Leo. So this is going to be a time while Venus is traveling in Leo for the rest of the month, where Taurus is going to probably be getting, very warm and affectionate romantically, but also being creative around the home, thinking of creative ways to bring more joy and fun into the home, maybe thinking of creative ways for there to be more romance with you and your partner in the home environment, and things like that are going to be like, this is a very creative aspect for Taurus while this is happening. And, Taurus is square Leo, so it could be challenging but creative. And September 9th, Mars goes retrograde in Aries. And so this Aries, Mars retrograde in Aries for the collective is a very intense aspect. September 9th through November 13th, Mars is retrograde. Mars, the planet of war, is retrograde in Aries, the sign of the warrior. And so this could be a time of great civil unrest, a time of a lot of fighting. Mars also rules the police and the military. It rules guns and explosions and fires and all of that stuff. So, Mars entered the pre-shadow period, and we've already started to see, I guess it was the end of July, it entered the pre-shadow. And as we've seen the explosion in Lebanon, the California wildfires in record numbers, and record-breaking heat at 134 degrees, and, police threatening to strike in Portland and New York. And, so these themes are now going to be even more emblazoned for the collective as Mars goes retrograde in Aries. But for Taurus in particular, this Mars retrograde is happening in your 12th house. And so for Taurus, the 12th house is the house of hidden karma. It's also the house of secrets. It's the house of mysteries, our blind spot often. For Taurus, it's your blind spot because it's in the 12th house. And I can explain more about that to you in a one-on-one reading, but I just want to keep moving so that these videos aren't too long. But basically, during this time of September to November, things are going to be coming up. Like anything you've been avoiding, anything you have not been wanting to deal with, it's going to come up to be dealt with now. For many Tauruses, the 12th house is also the house of confinement. It's the house of solitude. You might be feeling particularly sleepy during this time. And you could be needing more rest. And if that's the case, I encourage you to not feel guilty about it, but just to take it. Because once Taurus enters your first house, you're going to need a lot of energy to get a lot done. Once Mars enters your first house, you're going to need a lot of energy to get a lot done. And also, there's a lot of Aries planets in that house for you, or rather asteroids and the planet Mars. But Lilith is there, Eris is there, Chiron is there. So there could be repressed anger issues coming up for you or others in your life that are very close to you that you will have to deal with. It could be repressed sexuality issues that come up for you or people around you, relationships that are close to you. There could also be healing of old wounds that are coming up to be dealt with at this time. So, 12th house issues tend to be very deep. They can be hidden. They can be your blind spot. So it's a great time for Taurus to get a transit reading and to explore some of these issues that are going to be themes, very much so for September to November. Will it be the strongest, but they'll still be being dealt with throughout all the way until the first week of 2021. So yeah, I highly recommend getting a reading at this time for Taurus. It's a great time to dig into this stuff, it's a great time of an opportunity for a lot of spiritual growth at this time for Taurus. And let's see, Jupiter goes direct, bringing us back to the 9th house. And that 9th house, again, this 9th house is the house of higher truth, a religion, spirituality, higher education, cross-cultural experiences, travel, exploration. It can be broadcasting or publishing for those that it's applicable to. But Jupiter going direct, it's like you've been doing some internal expansion work regarding this area for, you know, since May, really, since everything has been retrograde this year. So it's been calling for you to go internal and inside and reflect and recalibrate and review and restructure and rethink. And so now it's time to start to move. We're going to start to see the outward grace of the inward expansion and work that you were doing. And also, but that's a slow and methodical rollout. It's not right away, but this is now, it's beginning, you know. Palace was the beginning, now Jupiter. And then September 17th is the new moon of Virgo. The new moon of Virgo is emerging in your 5th house. The fifth house is the house of children. So this is an opportunity, you know, the focus will be around children during this time, but it's also an opportunity to set new intentions around your kids, but also around any creative projects that you have for yourself. And it's also a time to set intentions around, you know, what brings you joy in life, how you have fun in life, you know, your own inner child, and, you know, healing that. So, the new moon of Virgo is also about purging, detoxing, you know, improving, all of these things. If you need to set any intentions around your garden or landscaping, Virgo new moon is a great time for that as well. So that's September 17th, and then September 20th, Juno enters Scorpio. This will be a time of going deep with your partner, with your spouse, deep conversations, maybe also a time of very passionate sex with Juno in the 7th house in Scorpio at this time. Then September 22nd, the sun enters Libra. And for that period, the sun will be highlighting your 6th house. So during that month of Libra season, it's going to highlight issues like your daily routine, highlight issues around your physical health, highlight issues around your staff and employees, if that's applicable. And also it could highlight issues around small pets that you have. And so then September 25th, I'm not going to get into that one so much. Maybe I should. No, contact me for a reading if you want to know about Saturn, quintile Chiron. But I will say, I guess it's important to say that it's a healing time around, it's a healing time. September 27th, Ceres retrograde enters Aquarius. I don't want to get too much into that right now, but it's a time to nurture your career and attainment, a time to nurture your father for some, or your relationship with your father. Mercury is entering Scorpio at the end of September 27th as well. When Mercury enters Scorpio, this is about deep communication with your partner, with your spouse, or if you don't have a spouse, it could be with a business partner or someone who you have an intimate one-on-one relationship with. And September 28th, Saturn finally goes direct. It's been retrograde for 4 months. Saturn is the deliverer of karma. It's delivered karma to a lot of people over these 4 months, in the collective, in the headlines, certainly. And but in your personal life, this is again in that 9th house. The 9th house, the house of higher truth, the house of spirituality, of religion, of travel, of exploration, of higher education, of cross-cultural experiences. Saturn's going direct now. And so now, you know, it's time to start moving forward externally in those area, in that area where you've been doing a lot of internal reflection, rethinking, re-strategizing, recalibrating, reflecting. Since May, now it's time for the outward expression. It's time to start making the moves. It's time to start to reap the outer rewards for the internal work you've been doing in this area. And that ends the month of September for Taurus. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give me a like. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. I post more regular updates there as the month is unfolding, and it's just a way to learn about what's going on with the planets and how that affects us here on planet Earth and how we can benefit and make the most use of that for our greater good. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen and join me. I really appreciate it.